Hey guys, welcome to the webinar. Um, I just have to tell you a quick story. You ever see one of these? These are called credit card knives, okay? So they open like this, little piece of metal. So I saw this online the other day, and it was free plus shipping, so I ordered it. I thought it was kind of cool because for box cutters, so I put it in my wallet, okay? I had a seminar scheduled at something called the Voice of America, which basically goes to Afghanistan. So here I'm going to do a seminar to Afghanistan on nutrition, and this happens to be in a governmental building. Yeah, you know what happened. So don't ever bring one of these in a governmental agency or building. So I walk in, I completely forgot about it. The police, the guard basically calls lockdown. They put me on the wall, they handcuffed me. I said, no, you could take it. I don't, take it. I'm like, what's going on here? So they put me in a room, and they called the FBI. Yeah, so that was kind of freaked out. So they come in there like, what's the intent? I'm like, I'm gonna cut boxes. I had no idea that this was. I forgot about it basically, and it's weird because the week before I took this on the plane and no one saw it. So anyway. That was a scary. So we're sitting in this room, which is like a waiting room. It's like I guess a snack room for some of the government. So I'm sitting there in handcuffs, and they had a cake sitting right there, and there's two cops talking about nutrition and how sugar's bad for you. And of course, I had to chime in and say, that has a pretty high glycemic index, and they're talking about beans. So, and then I realized they're probably not going to take advice from someone in handcuffs. So I kind of just waited for the FBI to come in there, and then like, what's the intent? I said, I just thought it was cool, and so they let me go. And I actually ended up doing the seminar live, or not live, it was pre-recorded. So my wife's like, don't ever put this in your wallet ever again. So that was crazy. So today we're going to be doing a seminar on something called beyond weight loss. So this is going to go way beyond weight loss, and I have some slides I want to show you. So let's go right to it. Let me just open my slides right here. Okay, good. All right, so you can see this right now. Now, here's the thing. There are people who try to lose weight that just can't no matter what. And then other people, they don't even do barely half of what the person's doing, like a person with a real stubborn metabolism, and they can lose weight. And that's really what frustrates people. So I really want to cover exactly what you can do to bust through the plateau. But this seminar is for the person that has tried everything and nothing's working. We're going to go, but to do that, it's not about weight loss. We have to go beyond that. And so we're going to talk about that. All right. So to do that, you need to connect the dots. And I'm talking about the relationship between cause and effect. And as you're going to learn, weight is really not the issue. And I want to first just kind of mention why medicine fails, especially for the endocrine system, especially for hormones. You go to the doctor, you do a blood test, either it shows normal and they don't do anything, or it shows abnormal and they give you hormones. So medicine is really the management of effects or symptoms. So they really only work on the superficial level, the surface area. They don't ask why. They don't evaluate. And I'm talking about digging deeper into the root cause. Evaluation is a French word which means to look. So if you were to look and keep looking at the problem, you would find out a lot of information. And I'm going to show you what I found, but we need to ask why. We need to get to the root of the problem, and medicine doesn't do that, unfortunately. Medicine has become so segmented, so specialized, so overly specialized to one part of the body that you can't really evaluate one part of the body without understanding the other parts because they all connect. You've heard the expression, the hip bone's connected to the thigh bone, right? That is so true. So treating the cause fixes the symptom. Treating the symptom does not fix the cause. And then the question is why? I mean, this is a terrible statistic. 98% of all weight loss cases fail. That's crazy. I mean, any other area, I don't know, fixing cars, going to the moon, if you had these ratios, this track record, this percentage of failures, oh my gosh, that would be terrible. But with weight loss, the great majority of people fail. Why? Because they're treating the weight. Weight is a symptom, and this is what you really need to get across. If you've been to my webinars before, you know about this already. But for those that never attended, you have to treat weight like a symptom. You really don't even have a weight problem, and we'll have to give you a T-shirt. I don't have a weight problem. Right on the back, it's a weight symptom. It's an effect, and a symptom basically is something that indicates something else. And every time you treat it, you never get anywhere because you either camouflage it or you continue the symptom. So what should you do if you can't lose weight? Well, we need to evaluate. We want to go deeper. We want to find out what's behind. So an evaluation, we're going to ask a lot of questions. Basically, we're going to ask why. So that's what we're going to do right now. If you look at the different shapes of people, there's really 4 main shapes that people have. And based on their shape, you can get a lot of information. Based on their symptoms, you can get a lot of information on what's behind the shape. Yes, your hormones do control where the fat is deposited on your body. But the most common shape is the adrenal shape. And that is the person with the midsection weight. Now, what's unique about the adrenal shape is that it's a different type of fat. It's called visceral fat because visceral means around the organs, the midsection. This is a completely different type of problem. And so let's just kind of cover what the adrenal glands are. Adrenal glands are tiny glands on top of your kidney, add on top of renal kidney, that react and adapt the body to stress. So they adapt your body, every part of your body, to a stress state. So if you can envision you being in stress, what's going to happen to the heart rate? What's going to happen to the salivary glands? You're going to dry up. That's why when you do a public speech in front of 500 people, your mouth gets real dry. So you might urinate. I mean, there's all these different physiological things that happen when you're in a stress state. So let's just go through what happens to your body if the adrenal glands are overproducing too much hormone for too long. You get stuck in this excessive thinking, analyzing stuff, solving problems 24/7, especially when you're trying to sleep. You can't sleep, so you end up on the computer and your eyes get strained, right? You need coffee to wake up. You can't get out of bed easily. You're fixated on problems. Why? Because the nature of the adrenal is to solve problems. So what are you doing? You're trying to survive by solving problems constantly, and they're randomly. They're coming in there constantly. So you solve one, another one comes up. So what happens in your mind is all these problems can trigger a lot of stress on the adrenals. So it's hard to just turn it off. Here's one, multitasking. And so I want to just ask you, do you really think that multitasking, you really get more done than if you just focus on one thing? Some people think that, but no, it's your power is your focus on one thing and doing one thing at a time. And so all of your attention is on that one thing and not on anything else. Multitasking really disperses you and you really don't feel productive, and you're not productive. Stress states, you're kind of always in a stress state and you're overwhelmed. Libido shuts off. Why would libido shut off? Because when you're being chased by a tiger, you don't have time to reproduce. All those sex hormones are blocked. You get high blood pressure. Think about it. If you're being chased by a tiger, your blood pressure tends to be higher because of the stress state that you're in. So the person's very dispersed, and we can call this ADD if we want, but really it's an adrenal symptom. Here's one, asthma. Why is asthma an adrenal symptom? Because think about what they're treated with, a bronchosteroid inhaler. What are inhalers? They're adrenal hormones. So these steroids, including prednisone, anything with prednisone, prednisone is an anti-inflammatory. It's used for pain, it's used for allergies, it's used for asthma, it's used for inflammation, all sorts of things. Anything that's used for is an adrenal problem, but they don't do anything for the adrenal. Allergies are adrenal. Blood sugars. This is a person on my right taking their blood sugars. Why is that? Because when you're in stress mode, your body is going to tap into sugar, fuel. And that's why I have people that will eat good, but they still can't lose weight because their blood sugars are constantly up and down because the adrenal is turning your body into sugar. It literally converts your muscles into sugar. Yeah. So one big cause of diabetes is in the adrenal. So in this sense, diabetes is a symptom, but if we don't look at it like that, do we? We treat it as a disease. Acne is an adrenal problem because one of the hormones produced by the adrenal makes excessive acne. Sleep apnea is an adrenal symptom. Snoring is an adrenal symptom because the tissue in the back of the throat and the back of the sinuses get thicker with adrenal problems. Muscle cramps in your calves and your legs is an adrenal symptom. Why? Because the adrenals deplete your electrolytes, specifically potassium and sodium and calcium, and you get cramps. Hair loss, a special alopecia, which is like little pockets of hair that come out of your head, that's an adrenal symptom too. Brain fog, cleaning out the brain fog is an adrenal symptom as well because you lose your memory. Because the high levels of adrenal hormone called cortisol depletes oxygen in the brain. Hot flashes is an adrenal because the adrenal gland backs up the ovary during menopause. And if the adrenal gland is already tired going into menopause, you get hot flashes. Cravings to specifically salty foods, chips, salsa, chocolate, and sugar and carbs. Why? Because in the adrenal state, you're burning more sugar fuel than you are fat. Okay. Loss of collagen that shows up in loose skin underneath the chin, underneath your arm. You might see your skin gets thinned. Those are adrenal symptoms. Memory issues is adrenal, absent-mindedness, and loss of position in time and space. So you might kind of like, okay, where am I going again? You might lose your ability to figure out where you're going because the adrenal will affect certain parts of the brain. Anything climbing stairs, incline, getting up too fast, feeling dizzy is an adrenal symptom. That's why people, when they climb stairs, their legs might get heavier. That's an adrenal symptom. Bloating is an adrenal symptom because you lose the fluids in your bile ducts in your liver, and those you lack something called bile, B-I-L-E, and that bile is the thing that helps digest, especially fatty foods. So you don't digest that well. So you eat and you get bloated, or at the end of the day, your stomach is totally bloated. You feel like you're pregnant. Yeah, in the morning it's less. That's an adrenal symptom because the gut swells. Heartburn is an adrenal symptom because it produces acid reflux. I mean, think about how many people are taking antacids for this. Low tolerance to stress. So I have a question. Do you know anyone has a low tolerance to stress? Friends, family, neighbors? They can't tolerate, they get edgy easily. That is an adrenal symptom. Falling asleep after you eat lunch is an adrenal symptom. You need for a nap because the blood sugars are out of whack and it'll make you tired, like after a Thanksgiving meal. So check this out. I'm going to show you something. This is a book called SIBA. This book is in every single medical library, bookstore. And this is what it looks like right here. Check this out. It's called, by Frank Netter, it's called CIVA, Cyclopedia. It's Medical Illustrations for the Endocrine System. So this book is amazing because it gives you pictures. And I'm showing you right now all the effects of cortisol. This is a stress hormone. Look at bone loss, eventually osteoporosis, acne, inflammation, cyst, brain fog, excessive thinking, high cholesterol, blood sugars, acid reflux, immune factors, autoimmune diseases, viruses come out of remission, asthma, and then we have stretch marks, hypertension, sleep problems. I mean, this gland right here is pumping out fat right into the gut. Why? Because it's a survival mechanism. All this information is in this book. I'm not making these symptoms up. Now, I want to show you something because, let me see where I'm right here. I'm right here. Good. Oh, let me just go share. It bumped me out. Okay, so let me just go back to this. Okay. So you can see all these symptoms. You get a buffalo hump in the upper back, osteoporosis, thin skin, moon face, that's a round face, all these things. Before I get in the next slide, I just want to, for those of you that don't know me, most of you do know me. My name is Dr. Berg, DC. That stands for District of Columbia. No, I'm just kidding. Doctor of Chiropractic. I don't do chiropractic anymore. I do nutrition, functional nutrition. I also develop my own techniques, manual therapy, kind of an acupressure, no needles, but just manual work on the different parts of the body relating to endocrine stress, adrenal stress, that type of thing. I've been in practice 25 years. My clinic is in Northern Virginia. I've personally worked on 45,000 people. I taught nutrition at Howard University as an associate professor. I also wrote a book, The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. It was the #1 bestseller on Amazon. Trained over 2,500 doctors in alternative medicine. So I basically train doctors in alternative things. And I delivered over 4,900 seminars to a lot of the governmental agencies on a monthly basis. I have even done seminars to the FBI and the same organization that came in to make sure I wasn't a terrorist for that pocket credit card knife. I have over close to 1,000 YouTube videos and 9 million views so far, and I developed the body types. But real quickly, I want to just let you know my story. I got into this out of necessity, out of desperation, because I never ate anything good until I was like 21, 22, 23 years old. I lived on sugar. I lived on junk. My grandmother was the most amazing cook, and she would make these cakes for me every birthday, and I would pretty much just keep eating it. I couldn't just eat one. That lasted until I was in my 20s. But little did I know I had a blood sugar issue back then. I also was in wrestling for 4 years, and I always had to cut weight. So I would starve myself for 2 or 3 days and eat nothing, and then pig out right before the match on the junkiest submarine sandwich or a chocolate milkshake. I know. I was so stupid in the area of health. It was crazy. I went into the military and went through basic training, and by the time basic training was done, I could barely do a push-up because my body, with the stress and lack of sleep and poor nutrition, was so far gone that I could barely pass the PT test. I mean, that was crazy. I mean, I went to state in wrestling, and I don't even know how I got through that because I was exhausted. And then things kept getting worse until I had arthritis, constipation, chronic fatigue syndrome, a lot of inflammation all down my spine. And this is a picture of me when I think I was 27 or 28. I was taking massive amounts of prunes. We had 3 kids. I had no energy for my kids. It was a mess. So out of desperation, I tried everything. And I was the epitome of treating symptoms. I was taking 94 pills, 94 vitamins to try to wake up, to try to get better, but it wasn't working. And so I was, out of necessity, found some things that worked for me. And then um, other things. And then I started to obsessively study nutrition. And the unique thing about what I did, which a lot of researchers don't do, is when I study something, I don't just scan the data. I take every single word that I don't fully understand and I look it up in the dictionary, including the derivation, where it came from. So I am digesting every piece of information as I go. And I think that's what's different from most people who do research, is they don't go that extra distance to really understand these basics and how things relate. They kind of just read through it and then they gloss over these big words. And I found that the more you do that, you're going to be more confused. So when I study something, I study it thoroughly. And that's probably one of my successful actions of making some huge breakthroughs as a practitioner. But anyway, to make a long story short, I was 28. I was very sick. I got better. I'm 29 now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 50. But I've been working on my health, and I'm way healthier than I am now than I was back when I was 27 or 28. So it's right now, as I look at the problem, back then I had very low awareness. Now I have a lot of awareness about what's going on with people, and it's about observing the obvious. And this is the big thing right now that I want to talk about. The big obvious thing that I'm seeing is that medicine has switched symptoms or effects for causes. We're making all these symptoms as diseases, and then we're treating them with over-specialized doctors. Now, I don't think it's the medical profession doing this. I think it's the drug companies behind the scenes that are manipulating, pulling the strings. They're the puppet master. They're the ones that kind of set up the medical universities to teach certain things. The problem is the medical profession, when you're a med student, and I did pre-med, you don't have time to digest this information, to really evaluate, to see if it's true or not. You have to pass the test. So you're doing a lot of memorization without learning. So you end up graduating not really knowing the body like you should, and you don't have a chance to apply it. So you graduate as a profession that basically manages symptoms with drugs, and that's pretty much as far as it gets. Okay, and when you do that, you are not very flexible in your thinking as far as your ability to look at other solutions. You have a lot of fixed ideas. So what they've done is they switch these symptoms for causes, and because they sound very, very scientific, you might legitimately think that it's, oh yeah, that's my disease, but it's really I mean, think about like just acid reflux. They have a disease now, GERD. This is the disease. It's gastroesophageal reflux disorder. All that means is you get reflux. It's not a disease. Everything is camouflaged as a disease. Even obesity. Check this out. Last week, the American Medical Association voted to classify obesity as a disease. In one day, 78 million American adults and 12 million American children were deemed to have a medical condition that needs treatment. This is the drug companies. This is not the medical profession. Somehow they talked the AMA into doing this, probably with lobbyist group or whatever. But this is what's happening. They did the same thing with cholesterol. Medicine has become a business, unfortunately. And you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You're probably not surprised. But they did it with the cholesterol. Cholesterol normal values used to be 212. Now it's 200. They're trying to lower it down to 150 now. And basically, you're going to get everyone on medication. And you're not going to get off of it. And you stay on it. So it's really bad. People don't want that. They also did it with the BMI, body mass index. They lowered that and just made everyone obese. So welcome to modern medicine. It's basically a business. Okay, so getting back to the adrenals. I'm coming off my soapbox right now. What's unique about the adrenals? Well, they are very unique in that the adrenals do not have an off switch. If you look at the electrical wires from the brain that control different parts of the body, there's two systems that make up something called the autonomic nervous system. Basically, it's the automatic nervous system behind the scenes. You have the sympathetic, which is what's called the flight or fight mechanism, and then we have the parasympathetic. Don't worry about the names right now, but the parasympathetic is kind of like the turn-off switch, the thing that works when you're relaxed and when you're sleeping, and the sympathetics work when you're being chased by a tiger. Now, if we look at the little circuit board that comes out of the spinal column from the brain, look at down here, you'll see from the solar plexus, it comes right down, there's a wire that goes right into your adrenals. That's the on switch. But guess what? The adrenals don't have any parasympathetic control. There's no off switch for the adrenal. And I found that interesting. Why? That's weird. So what causes the adrenal glands to get stuck on and pump out excessive cortisol? You guessed it, stress. Stress will do it. The other interesting, unique thing about the adrenal and basically about stress in general is that there is always stress before you start gaining weight. There's always some stress. A pregnancy stress, a loss of a loved one, hysterectomy, tonsillectomy, infections, loss of some severe stress, change of hormones, menopause. All that basically triggers the adrenal to then put on the weight. So the weight in your gut is not just the food thing, it's the stress. And here's the other thing that I found, and I found this by, I have a test that measures the autonomic nervous system. And for those of you that want to know the name of it, it's called heart rate variability technology. It measures the data between the heartbeats, which basically is the nervous system that's controlling the heart, but it controls the whole body. And what you can see from this test, you can measure accumulated stress. And this is the other thing I want to talk about. Your body is like a sponge. It accumulates stress, and stress gets stuck in the body. So look at this dial up here. You see this tall dial up here? It's all the way to the right. Normally it should be straight up and down. So yours, this person has one that's too high. That means that their body is stuck in some stress, even when they're relaxed. Their body is, in present time, stuck in stress, but their bodies or their adrenals are reacting to old stress, that stress that they had in the 80s and the 70s. Yes, that is true. So your body tends to hold on the stress very tightly. Here's another graph. Over time, when that stays too high, it'll burn out this smaller dial, which is the recovery dial. The recovery dial should be all the way to the right. So when you lose the recovery, now you don't recover to exercise stress, to people stress. You become irritable. People get on your nerves, especially incompetent people, especially insane people. You can't watch the news. You can't watch scary movies before bed. So your body is very, very edgy. And that is because the adrenal system has been burnt out. And so there are techniques that you can do, regular techniques and advanced techniques, to extract this stress. And I'm going to introduce you to something new that I created over the last few months. And it's a membership site that allows you to learn techniques. But I'm going to show you some things, but there's some advanced techniques that I think you'll eventually want to learn to pull this stress out. And it's very, very effective. So let me just show you this. I want to ask you a question. I think this sentence doesn't make sense. Why do these diets have in common? It should be, what do these diets have in common? And I'm going to just, what do all successful diets have in common? Do you have any idea? Here, these are successful diets. Atkins, low carb, South Beach, protein power, paleo, ketogenic, intermittent fast. They're all really good diets. But what do they have in common? They're lower insulin diets. They lower insulin. What does that mean? It means they lower sugar. So one fundamental principle that is very successful is you need to lower insulin if you want to lose weight, right? So you probably already know this, but you don't probably know why. Here's why. Insulin, which basically is triggered by sugar, is a dominating hormone. In the presence of a little bit of insulin, all 6 fat-burning hormones get nullified, blocked, canceled out. So it's not even a matter of trying to trigger these hormones. It's a matter of avoiding this one hormone right here called insulin. And that's why if you just get the sugar out of the diet, you are going to lose weight. Okay, so you probably already know that. You probably already experienced that. So that's one thing. But here's the other thing that is even more fascinating. Traditional diets and exercise really don't work for belly fat. This is because belly fat is a different type of problem. And so you may have lost weight with lowering insulin, but you definitely have not lost very much belly fat with lowering insulin with your diet, because cortisol is another hormone that is dominating. So cortisol is the dominating hormone too. And cortisol will pretty much nullify, block out, cancel all the fat-burning hormones as well. So you have these 2 hormones. You have sugar and stress. Those are the 2 deadly combinations. Okay, there is one more too, but I'm not going to get into it, but it's estrogen, if you wanted to know. Estrogen will also dominate, but not as powerfully as cortisol or insulin. But here's the other interesting thing. If you cut out the sugar and you still crave, then we know the cortisol is turning your protein, your muscles, into sugar. So the adrenal hormones can make it so your sugar is still high and blocking fat burning from the stress. Why do you think you crave sweets when you're under stress? So when you're under stress, your body needs quick energy. So cortisol is a dominating hormone. So most people mistakenly focus on trying to trigger the fat-burning hormones when it's 1,000 times more important to avoid the fat-dominating or fat-making dominating hormones. So it's all about avoiding stress and about avoiding sugar, right? So I'm going to give you some things to do, but I want to just mention one thing about, people always want to balance their hormones. That is not a good idea. Why? Because we don't want insulin to be too high or cortisol to be too high. We want, your body is out of balance. So you can't go on a balanced diet. You can't go on a balanced hormonal, program. You need to understand that we want to lower insulin, cortisol, and estrogen and increase the other hormones. And this whole concept of everything in moderation is a bad idea, because all you're going to do is you're going to maintain your fatness and you're not going to lose weight. So I wanted to bring that point out. So here's what I'm going to recommend right now. I want you to focus all your efforts only on supporting the adrenals, not the weight. Forget about the weight. The weight will come off as a byproduct after the adrenal body type is improved. Okay, does that make sense? So how do we lower cortisol? I'm going to show you some small but crucial actions. These are easy things that you can do. You can start implementing them right away, and you just need to focus on them. These are the most important things. Number one thing is this: sleep. You must fix the sleep out of anything. If you are sleeping and you're not eating sugar, your chances are you're going to lose weight a lot better. But if you're not sleeping, no matter what you do, I don't care if you're exercising, it's not going to work, because the sleep is one powerful thing to lower cortisol. In fact, if I were just to, weigh out what's more important, exercise or sleep, guess what it's going to be? Sleep. Hands down. 10 times more effective if you sleep than if you exercise. But if you don't know that, you're going to probably get up early and forget your sleep and keep trying to burn off those calories. It's not going to work. Look at these hormones. You're going to burn all the fat at night, okay, not during the day. So I'm going to show you one technique that that I do. Let me just kind of pull up my computer here. Okay, so this is a device that I use. It's a do-it-yourself device, and it's a tripod. Boom, 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 and they have different widths. Okay, and this is used as a replica of my hand. Okay, I built this for myself. You can take it and you can place it in the back of your neck right here, and you can lean back right here and hit these points. There are 2 points right in the back of your neck that if you press on these points, you can get some serious improvement. You can get, with your sleep, you can turn off a lot of stress. You can also take your hands with your thumbs and press over through here and lean back and press on those points as well. And this is just a real simple little technique that you can do that I'm going to show you what I'm going to recommend to be able to use this to reduce stress. Okay, let me come back to my PowerPoint presentation, which is out of order again. Okay. Here we go, right here. Now, you get a tall back chair, you get a couch, and you take the widest points and you put it right in the back of right underneath your skull. There's 2 points there that stimulate the off switch on the nervous system. It will create a full body relaxation to the entire spine, and you'll sleep very deeply if you do this. So this is one little technique that I use for stress because it's a manual technique. It's basically physically taking parts of your body and pressing different parts to release stress. And this is a very important one that I use for sleep. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is that your sleep cycle starts at about 10:30 or 10 o'clock, 10:30. You need to be in bed by like 10:15 or 10:30 to catch the first wave. If you go to sleep past 12, you're pretty much screwed. You won't be able to catch that up because the hormones work on these waves for 90-minute sleep cycles. So you want to catch the wave, be in the bed a little earlier, and catch that first wave. And this is interesting. All the benefits of exercise occur in deep sleep. All the benefits of exercise occur in the deep sleep, about 24 to 48 hours after you work out. So when you're burning, like let's say you did a 2-hour workout and you weighed yourself before and after, it'll be 0. But if you weigh yourself the next day or 48 hours later, you weigh less because the benefit of exercise is delayed. During the exercise itself, all you're doing is you're stressing the body out. So it's all about the recovery after. That's why when you measure people and they have low recovery, you have to fix the recovery because they're not going to lose weight. Interesting. Number 2, this is huge. Do people stress you out? There's 2 types of people. There's people that bring you up, and there's people that bring you down. And it's really what a person does to your communication. Do they twist what you said? Do they alter what you said? Do they ignore your communication? Do they fail to acknowledge what you said? See, when you have 2 people, husband and wife, friends, family members, the goal is for someone to say something, maybe an upset, and the other person to receive that. And it's like a battery. It discharges that pressure, that stress. But if that person is unwilling to listen as a therapy, then the person is going to build up stress. So it's really important not to try to help people too much and give them advice. Instead, listening and acknowledging and being interested is probably the best thing you can do to reduce stress in people. But no one's doing that. They want to not listen to the stress. They don't want the person to communicate anymore. So they either alter the stress, they invalidate, they make the person wrong. Like the person has a complaint and the person said, no, you're just making things up. Or they evaluate, they'll say, your problem is blah, blah, blah. So really, communication is it could be used as a tool or a weapon. And the thing is that if you're running into these personality types that are doing this to you, either you're going to have to handle them or kind of just avoid them, because try to fix the adrenals in this pressure cooker environment. It's really tough. So you want to pick your friends, your family very wisely, right? Your coworker, your boss. Okay, what happens when you're under stress is you lose this one thing called space. Your space comes in on you. I mean, look what happens. Look at this and look at this. Can you see the space where this guy is? And see the space over here? She has a lot of space. What happens when you get space is all that stress can move off your body and your adrenal glands get happier. And that's why people can go on a vacation or go in a different location, maybe go hiking, and the stress goes way down. If you go from your office to the gym on a treadmill and watch TV and go home, that is not good for the adrenals. The best exercise, the best therapy for the adrenal is to go somewhere to get space. What workout am I doing now? Basically, I go outside in my backyard and I chop wood. I love doing that. It gets my attention off things. I'm lifting things. I'm looking at things. I am not on a treadmill, so I ride my bike. I jog. So I always try to get space. Go for long walks. But the best exercise for the adrenal is not a high intensity at first. They have to do long walks and just looking at stuff, not with the headphones, just getting space. Because look at this. Here's my great graphic design. Here you are thinking about all these problems 24/7. Guess what you're doing? You're just triggering the adrenals because they react to mental stress constantly. So you need to get your attention out of your head and out into the environment. Okay? Very important, very subtle, very simple, but you need to do that. Number 3, food stresses. Now, here's something interesting. You might think that you're a stress eater and you eat this junk food, it lowers your stress. It really doesn't. Junk food does not lower stress. It increases body stress. I guarantee you eat that cake and I'd say about, I don't know, about 3 minutes later, 4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, you're going to feel stress start building up because your blood sugars have crashed. They went up and then went down, and you're going to get irritable, more stressed out. So these so-called junk foods actually add more stress. So it's a trap because there's a little bit of pleasure there. It's like a drug. Do drugs make you better? Temporarily, they make you feel better, but they don't. So this is a total trap that people are in. So what do? You avoid the sugars and the hidden sugars, so then the cravings go away. And I'm talking about fruit. So fruit is not a problem to maintain weight. Fruit probably won't increase weight gain, but it definitely prevents the loss of it. Grains, especially oatmeal, breads, pasta, cereal, crackers, biscuits, waffles, pancakes, those are all things that stop weight loss. Yogurt, even plain, has the hidden sugars. It's like 6 to 10 grams. Start reading the label under the sugar grams and you'll see alcohol turns into sugar. I'm sorry, but if you actually drink alcohol, then you're going to have to be okay with not burning fat for 1 to 2 days because it's going to block that burning. So just be aware of what you're doing and be okay with it. Okay, so I'm just pointing your attention on what's making you stressed out. Okay. I mean, look at an apple. When I look at ingredients, I always look at this one thing down here, not the total carbohydrate, but the total sugars, 19 grams. That's like eating a candy bar. You should have this at 0 or less than 1. 19 grams. Crazy. So there are things you can eat that substitute for the things that you crave. In my membership site, I give you recipes of things like, some of these are on my website, some of these are not, but this is like a healthy granola. This is a peanut butter cup. This is a bread that has no flour, a cookie that has no flour, no sugar, ice cream that has no sugar. This is like Almond Joy substitute, no sugar. You could do these things. So you keep them in the refrigerator. That way you don't feel like you're deprived and you just can do it long term. Here's another thing that's interesting, synthetic vitamin C. Most vitamin C out there sold is made synthetically from cornstarch which by the way has no vitamin C, and sulfuric acid. And they mix the two together and they make ascorbic acid, and they sell it as vitamin C. Well, ascorbic acid is one little tiny portion of the vitamin C complex. And if it's made artificially, it's not the real thing. So because the adrenal gland stores most of the vitamin C in the body, because you need the vitamin C to convert into adrenal hormones, if you take synthetic C, it will deplete the other factors in the vitamin C complex that are supposed to make hormones, and it will weaken the adrenals. So taking like anything over 100 milligrams, 500 milligrams of vitamin C in your synthetic vitamins is not a good idea for the adrenals, especially if you take grams. I've had people worsen the adrenals by taking synthetic vitamin C. And by the way, there is no vitamin C in orange juice. Why? Because it's pasteurized. And there's two things that destroy vitamin C. One is heat, and the other is oxygen. So, and even if you did drink orange juice, it's just like sugar water. And the reason why they can claim it's vitamin C is because they legalized synthetic vitamin C to be vitamin C. And so they don't really differentiate between synthetic and whole food vitamin C. Let's just take a look at vitamin C, where it can come from. Bell peppers, oh my gosh, that's a lot of vitamin C. Kiwi, kale, strawberries, papaya, broccoli, oranges. Oranges actually are low on the vitamin C complex. I like to get my vitamin C from bell peppers or kale. All right, here's the other nutrient. Out of all the nutrients, potassium is the single most important nutrient for the nervous system, for the adrenals. Why? Because when you have an overactive adrenal, you deplete your potassium. And then if you deplete your potassium, you get nervous. Your muscles cramp up. Your adrenals can't calm down. Potassium is a physiological tranquilizer. It calms you down. And you need like 4,700 milligrams a day. No one gets that. You say, well, I eat a banana a day. That's 300 milligrams. You would have to have 8 bananas or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 avocados every single day to get your potassium. Okay? So I recommend some other things instead of getting that. And I'm going to recommend getting it from salad. All right? Salad. So let me just show you something here. Check this out. This is my salad. Okay? You need about, I'd say about 7 to 10 cups of salad every single day to get your potassium. But you don't just get your potassium, you get the vitamin C. That's why we want to go with the vegetables. Now this looks pretty big, right? That's because I'm holding in front of me, but if I hold it right here, it's more doable. See that? It's as big as my head. But look at this. This is 7 cups. And it's just fluffed. It's not like packed down. I do 10 cups. This is how much I eat in a given day. I actually do a little bit more than this, but you need to do a minimum. But look at the type of salad I use. Some serious. It's not just iceberg. This has a lot of different. Now, where do I get my salad? I go to the farmer's market. Why? Because I had a friend that lived in Russia, and I noticed every time he came to America, he got fat, and he ate a lot of salad, he ate a lot of vegetables. But back home, he said his salad and his vegetables, they're so much more tastier, more nutritious, and he loses weight on them because they're nutrient dense. Like we have salad that's empty. So you minimally need to go to get it from the health food store, not 7-Eleven. Don't get your salad from 7-Eleven or Shoppers. Maybe they might have organic, but if you could, go to the farmer's market and get your vegetables. You're going to get a much higher quality, and you can get these mixed lettuce leaves right here, and this will give you that healthy glow. I'm 50 years old, and I know that the more of this I eat, I just look younger and younger. And so you want to start consuming healthy things, but most people don't have enough vegetable in their diet. They have this little salad. They don't like vegetables. You can actually even blend this with maybe like a cup of berries with water. Blend this and drink your salad. But you need to start adding salads to your diet. Now, I also use a salad scissors. Now you can see I'm into knives, right? So I will chop this salad right through here and make it like half of this thing so I can eat it. And if you get bloated, well, then have another type of vegetable if you get bloated. Like do maybe a spring green or something like that, or you need to fix the stomach to be able to digest all that. And I just remembered my wife and I make different things every single week. We make things for the whole week that are kind of like healthy comfort foods. We or a granola bar without all the crap. But this week we made something called almond bread. I want to show you this right here. This is made with sesame seeds and onions. This stuff is freaking amazing with soy sauce, but it's organic. It's Bragg's. It's salty chip, and these are delicious. And we made these in the dehydrator, and they're real easy. So in the membership side, I give you the recipe for all these things and a lot more, and each week we create another one. But these are things that you should prepare for the week, and then that way you don't have to think about it. Okay, so let me go back to this slide right here. Okay, so increase your potassium-rich food. I don't recommend taking in a supplement unless it's a food base. It won't create the same effect. I mean, when you lose weight, you want to lose it healthily, you know. Now, number 6, only have a protein breakfast. Now you're looking at my egg going, oh my gosh, that's going to increase my cholesterol. Not if you're not doing the carbs, it won't. I do grass-fed bacon, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, I mean, you don't have to do it. You can do turkey bacon. You don't have to do bacon at all. But I consume that, and these pigs are way, way healthier than chicken. I'll tell you that right now, because they eat grass, and it's a little bit of a different taste, but that's just what I do. So you want a protein, maybe some avocado, maybe some vegetable, but mainly a protein fat breakfast, because that's going to actually establish your blood sugars through the whole day, and you will feel so much better. Okay, very important for the adrenals. Okay, so now, are you ready for some serious results? Because I'm going to show you this membership site that I basically created over the last 3 months. So you really have 2 choices. Plan A, you could come to my office and let us do the evaluation and work on you. And that's probably the ideal scene. But if you don't live locally, Plan B. I created, it's a do-it-yourself. It's Adrenal Body Type exclusive membership. And in this membership, I basically show you all the advanced techniques on the endocrine system. It's what we do to help people take them to the next level. This goes way beyond weight loss, because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sections. There's a section called One Thing at a Time, and basically there are 138 videos. 98% of these videos are not on YouTube or my website. You can't find them, so it's especially created for this portal. But you start off on the left and you go to the right, and what you can do is you can add one technique at a time and implement it. They're short, to the point videos, really simple, and you start implementing one thing at a time at your own pace. And we basically show you what to eat, what not to eat, help you understand how to burn fat, what to do, what not to do. So that's the first section. The second section is called Barrier in Situations. And in that section, we cover something that I surveyed 900 of my clients and people that are on my list. And the number one thing that I found is that they can't stick to a program because they have low willpower. Well, in truth, it's not really low willpower. It's that either they don't get results or they don't have tools to overcome all the temptation. And what to do at a restaurant, what to do in stress eating, what to do bored when you're eating out of boredom. So I take every single possible situation and I show you how to solve it so you can stick to things a lot longer. Not a lot longer, I mean forever. because the next section is going to be substitute pleasure foods, and we're going to show you amazing recipes that you can create every single week to have in your house to replace the junk. We're getting the junk out of the trunk and replacing it with some good stuff. And you'll get the same pleasure, but without the sugar or the bad stuff. And every week, I'm going to be adding more recipes, more amazing snacks, more content. So this is just going to help motivate you and keep you going. Now, don't get overwhelmed by 138 videos, because you're going to go to the videos that pertain to you, and you might not have a problem with certain things. And that's why I wanted to talk about the next section, which is basically body problems solved. So if you're trying to lose weight, we're going to be able to fix all the weak links in the body. And I'm talking about you're only as strong as your weakest link. You might have inflammation. You might have a heavy period. You might have hot flashes, constipation, bloating, sleep problems. These other like so-called non-weight related things must be fixed. In this section, I show you how to fix them. I show you how to evaluate. Then the next one is real life case studies, and we update this on a regular basis. The thing I like about this is that you can watch real live examples of my own clients in my office, outside my office, and we video all the successful actions that they have done. Like, you'll see one lady who lost 4 pounds in a week, and what we did after not losing any weight for a long time. So it's kind of like a debug and explaining, people's mistakes. You can learn from other people, and how we took a lady who her blood sugars were over 200 down to 106 in 1 week. So it's really cool. And the last one is the most important. It's advanced techniques. I do not recommend looking at that right off the bat, because you need to get the basics in first. But these are all the acupressure techniques that are way beyond just the weight loss. This is about extracting stress. It's about working on the different endocrine glands naturally and manually. With some of them, you do need help from another person, your spouse or a friend or a family member, but a lot of them you can do on yourself. You're also going to learn how to get rid of old injuries, and you're going to like that. So this will give you the unfair advantage. The only thing about getting access to this membership is that you have to agree not to teach any of my materials, okay? Because I'm giving this to you as an offer, a discount rate, and the last thing I'm going to do is have people take my information and teach it. You can use it for yourself, for your family, for your friends, but you can't teach it, okay? There's 2 people right now, 2 doctors that I ended up successfully suing because they did take my information and they started teaching it without my permission. So I want to protect it, because people will alter it, and you never know. And I know that's not going to be you, but you're just going to have to agree that you won't teach it. Okay, 2 goals. One is to get your lifestyle squared away and all your habits grooved in so you can do this long term. But then the other thing is to get the body working right, to fix the body so you can burn more fat. So this exclusive membership, you'll have access to the advanced techniques for the adrenal body type and all others. And you get access to me personally. Like, I answer the questions. The only thing I ask is that, like, when people ask a question, sometimes they might say, I can't lose weight, what do I do? Or they give me a whole book of questions in their history. That kind of goes beyond this portal. I'm talking like a quick question, a very specific question with the background. Let's say my cholesterol is this, I've done this, what do I do if this doesn't work? Because in order to evaluate, I need more information, but it has to be like a quick question and answer. Because at this level, be happy to check, answer any questions if they're quick and easy, not a problem. And I check it daily, so I will be looking at this a lot more than other, like my blog or on the YouTube comments, etc. So you have access to me directly. Of course, I show you what to eat, and I show you what to do, and I explain, give you options for your habits and things. But I'm going to give you strategies, and then each month you will get something really cool. I have a series of booklets that I'm working on called Beyond Symptoms series. and you'll get access to that before anyone gets access to it. And each week we'll add more and more things. Okay, what is the investment? What's the cost? It's not going to be $299. It's not going to even be $199 or even $99. It's basically only $36 a month. There is a 3-month minimum, though. You have to get 3 months in advance to do this, and that's because 1 month is not going to be enough to fix all these issues. You have to give it at least 3 months or longer to be able to fix these issues. Now, there is another option. You can get it less expensive for $18 a month, but you would have to also prepay for the whole year. Okay, so those are the two options, 36 or 18 a month. One is the 3-month minimum. The next is an $18 minimum. So let me just show you where you can do this here. So I think you can see this offer right here. Yeah, I think you can see it. If not, you can look below, and there should be a link. But if you click on the Adrenal Body Type Advanced Membership, Add to Cart, you'll be able to go into, let me see if I could, I'll give you the link too, so you can go here and choose your options. I think this is working. I don't. Okay, should work. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it should work. You should see the link to go get this program. Now, I want to show you something right here. Let me go back to this portal right here. It bumped me out again. Okay. Let's see if I go right here. This is what I want to share with you. Okay. Now, here's the other thing that I want to mention. If you're not 100% satisfied, get a refund. Okay, so I'm just letting you know there's no risk to you at all. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not totally thrilled, you can get a refund, so there's no risk. So you definitely, it's a great deal, okay? Because here's the thing. The most important thing, I think, beyond the eating and all the other things is the advanced techniques, because it handles the cortisol, and you cannot learn this anywhere. No one's doing this. No weight loss program focuses on the stress piece at all. And there's 2 other things. If you want to get this today, I'm going to give you 2 bonuses. One is unlimited access to my meal creator software, and you'll get that for free. And it's really cool because if you were to try to do a program and you're trying to create meals, and you're not actually organizing or planning out your meals for the week, and like you go day to day, it won't work, because by Wednesday, if you don't have the right meals or the right food in your house, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go off the program. So this allows you to quickly select the foods that you like and press enter and create a weekly meal plan. You print it out, put it on your refrigerator. It also gives you all the recipes. So now you have a plan. You take this to the grocery store, you can check it out, and you will have unlimited access to this meal creator plan. And it's really cool. It allows people to stick to things a lot easier, and it's part of the bonus if you get this thing today. And there's one more really cool bonus that I have to share with you. I've been working the last 6 months on some advanced evaluation software, and you will be able to take this quiz once a month. It's very complex, it's very deep, and I wanted to show you what it looks like. Hopefully I can show you what it looks like by giving you, let's see if I could find it. Let me see right here. Okay. I should be able to show you this. Let me see here. Hopefully. Yes. I think. You got to see this. Let's see here. Here's my. This is the back end of the software, and let me just see where it is. So I'm going to just see if you could see this here. No? Okay, that's fine. I'm going to show you. Okay. It's not popping up here for some reason, unfortunately. But what I did is I took every single symptom you can imagine, acne, hair loss, itching. I took every single symptom and I typed out every single possible cause for that symptom. And then I typed all the common causes and all their symptoms. And that's the problem with evaluation, is that you have symptoms and you have causes, and you have causes and you have symptoms. In fact, this can be very confusing. And I basically consolidated all this information into some logic that I use without even knowing I was using it. I put it together and I digitize it. So when you fill out this, it's a long quiz, it will evaluate your data and find your root cause. And it tells you what to do. So it's very cool. And if you were to go ahead and take this, and then each month take it, and you have less and less symptoms, you can actually get better over time. So that evaluation software is included as a bonus if you want to get this today. Couple questions that people always ask me about this. Will this be available later if I decide to do it later? Absolutely. You just won't get the bonuses. Okay. Why do I have to do a prepay? Because it takes at least 3 months to be able to apply this and actually see some major results. 1 month is not going to cut it, and I'm giving you everything but the kitchen sink. I'm giving you everything in this portal, so you'll be able to learn the advanced techniques, which you might not realize it yet, but these are the techniques that I've helped people drop their sugars in 80 points in 30 minutes from doing these body work. I've had other people get their temperature back and lose massive weight. I had one lady, her diet was perfect. I mean, it was better than mine. And she basically, her problem was she didn't sleep. First treatment we did the advanced technique on, and she slept for, I think, 13 hours. The next 2 weeks, she lost more weight in 2 weeks than she did for the last 2 years from the sleep. So it's about restoring the inside of the body so you can get your body back, and whatever your barrier is, we fix it. And the other thing is that we're going to be adding a lot more content as we go, but it's my basically communication portal, my platform, so to speak, with you, so we can go back and forth and work on you remotely. It's the best way to do this without having to physically come to my office. You can come to my office too, and not a problem. And you can even come for a free evaluation. I charge for my evaluations if you want to see me for my first evaluation, so $150, but you can get an evaluation from one of my practitioners for free. Okay, so that's how that works. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for your attention in this webinar. I want you to seriously consider doing the portal, and also all the other tips that I recommend. I want you to apply those as well, because this is the year that you need to get your body back and do it in a healthy way and look at the whole picture. And the next time someone comes up to you and basically tries to stress you out, now you know exactly what they're doing with your communication. So you can start to avoid stress with people, with food, with the type of exercise you should do to enhance your sleep and those things. So I want to thank you, and I'll see you on the inside of my portal very soon.